Namaste, everybody. I'm Don, and thank you for joining me for this relatively short but incredibly impactful and important lesson, if you want to call it that, about yoga and setting your intention versus setting a dedication for your practice. Now, I've been teaching those of you who have seen some of my other videos will know I've been teaching for about 14 years or so. So, a good number of years. And in taking classes, in the beginning, when you're doing your centering work and you're generally seated comfortably on the floor and you close your eyes and gradually deepening your breath, the teacher might say, or the instructor might say, set your intention for your practice for today, which is a wonderful reminder. Normally, before you go into class, if you can get there, 10 minutes early or so and just center yourself, you can get ideas as to what you want to accomplish with that practice. Now, a dedication is a very broad idea. Like you might want to dedicate it to a friend who's going through a tough time. And so you're just making yourself mindful and maybe you're putting out, in a sense, good vibes toward that person. And we all interpret that in our own way. Some people absolutely believe in that and other people don't. But we all generally agree that thinking about another person who's going through a tough time or not just a tough time, but maybe an old friend that you're thankful for, things like this. Today, I'm dedicating my practice to that person. And so that's fine. An intention, though, is a very specific thing. And this is one area where I'd like to see yoga instructors become more take charge, if you will, or more informative with their students. And that's not to criticize, it's just yoga, many people start doing it because they want to become more flexible. Many people never start taking it because they're not flexible and they think you have to start as a flexible human being. You don't, as we know. Those of you who take yoga know you don't have to start flexible. You get flexible the more you exercise your muscles that way. But if that's your intention, your unstated intention, let's say, is just you want to kind of get in shape better, then you're not going to connect your practice to anything specific off the mat. You've already set your general intention to just getting physically in shape, and that will happen. And so when you're off the mat, your intention will have been accomplished, that you're in better shape, you breathe better and all that. But if you want to go deeper into what yoga has to offer, and you set your intention, then during your practice, you want to be mindful of that intention. It isn't just a general idea of, oh, I want to be more patient in life. So my intention is I'm going to be more patient in life. And then you do your practice. That's really more of a dedication than an intention, because the intention has to do with how you're doing your postures, how you're transitioning from one asana or posture to another, how you're breathing, and are you mindful? For example, if you want to be more patient in life generally, before maybe you interrupt people frequently when they're speaking, or just you get agitated easily, and maybe you want to slow that down. Well, when you're in certain postures, instead of moving quickly, let's just say you're going to be moving your head from the right to the left, and this is typically done in a seated posture. You move slowly. Or if you're in down dog for the first time and the instructor says, walk the dog or do an alternate calf stretch, go slowly with it, being mindful that you're connecting your intention with your practice, with your asanas, within that practice. So you can visualize, in a sense, making progress when you're not on your mat. And that's where I just wanted to draw your attention. Let's say you wanted to become just a more bolder person, appropriately assertive. Let's say you consider yourself to be too quiet, and you ought to speak up more often. Um, so you can be you can set your intention at the beginning of class, but then during your practice, try to find a couple of places where you could do something a bit more assertively. And I don't mean to cause an injury and go way outside your box, but this is a very personal, introspective approach. But that's what setting an intention is. Because your yoga practice, each time you go to do it, whether you do it in your own home, like I do frequently, or whether you do it in a studio, like I do, and you do, I'm sure, fairly frequently, however often you may do it, it's a very personal thing. The instructor may say, this is your time. You know, my instructor would say that frequently. This is your time. And so that's what I want to encourage you to go. If you want to get more out of your yoga practice, set an intention, whatever it may be. Maybe you want to be a kinder person. So and kindness requires actively thinking about other folks, but it starts with being kinder to yourself. It starts with eliminating negative thoughts about yourself. So kindness, then when you're in your postures, and you might be thinking to yourself, wow, my balance is horrible today. I'm terrible. Or whatever the violation of ahimsa or the principle of nonviolence may be, it's an unkind thought toward yourself. I was in class fairly recently doing a simple posture. It was toward the beginning of class, and it's when you thread the needle. So we're in table pose, go up, come, take the right arm up, bring it under, and now you're balancing on your shoulder, possibly your ear. You've got your arm, and you've got your leg. You've got at least 4 points of contact with the ground, which should make you relatively stable. And I do not know what happened, but I just fell over and clunked on my back. And it was only recently discovered that I am a teacher, because when I go take classes in studios, I don't tell anybody that I teach. I just go take my class. And if it comes up in some context, great. It was recently discovered that I'm a teacher, and my teacher is an exquisite teacher. Her name is Ranjita. You'll hear me mention her. What she's taught me about, and all of her students, about yoga and life and the human being is just amazing. And so here I am in this very simple posture, and the class is quiet, and I clunk over on my back, and it makes all this noise. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this could be embarrassing. I didn't want to laugh and be a further distraction, but I didn't have any unkind thoughts toward myself. That's what I was getting at there. So but I could have, because parts of me are perfectionistic. Like I want to get things quote unquote right. But that's just an example I used where when you set your intention, be mindful of that intention throughout your practice. Don't confuse your intention with a dedication, because the dedication is general and it really doesn't do much to help you off the mat when you're in situations that call for kindness, patience, maybe more assertiveness, or whatever it may be. So I'll do more work on this in the future, but I just wanted to draw your attention to that be mindful in your practice as to how you could connect your intention to your postures. If you want to be a happier person, maybe you just wiggle your foot in some place without being a distraction, but maybe you just think something funny during class. Whatever. I mean, you figure it out, because it's a very personal thing. But I'll give you ideas, and then maybe something comes out of it. So I honor you for coming this far and trying to become a better version of yourself. Yoga has a lot to offer in that capacity, as I know, and because I've benefited from it. So I honor you with this. Namaste, and I'll see you on another video. Have a great day.